Chase Lee Hockey with the Blue Futon, another movie down at Sundance. This one's a second screening. I think they're all going to be second screenings from here on out, but this one is 892. Why is it called 892? Let's find out. What's it about? Well, it's a very simple premise, actually. There's a guy who's living in Atlanta or Georgia, and he just wants the VA to give him the money he's supposed to get so he can survive and not be homeless. And out of desperation, he decides to go to Wells Fargo Bank with a bomb and just get his money from the VA. He doesn't want the Wells Fargo money. He doesn't want a random Joe's money. He wants the money from the VA that he's rightfully owed. And let's see what happens at the end. Unfortunately, if you've seen the story, you know about it. He dies with a gunshot wound, and that's a very interesting aspect of that part of the story. But overall, what I think about 892, this, out of all the movies I've seen, which I'm now at 13, this is the most commercial type of movie. And what do I mean by that? It doesn't feel like an indie movie. It felt like it had a budget. It felt kind of world scopy, where it felt like it was a story for everyone, and it wasn't one of those weird one-off stories where people are just like, oh, that's a weird premise, that's a weird premise. Now, this one is very much commercial and can be made for anyone to watch it in the movie theater. So if I had to choose all the movies I've seen, this is the one where I wouldn't be surprised hits theaters and it actually makes money the most out of all the movies. But as the movie goes, it's competently made. There's actually some gorgeous shots in this movie. I want to say gorgeous shots, that's completely wrong, but hard-hitting shots. I think the most hard-hitting shot has to do with a bomb robot with blood and carpet. That's all I'm going to say, because with that shot, you're just like, damn. This puts in perspective of what actually can happen and what will happen, and just the ramifications of like crime scenes, if you want to put it that way. The acting's good. The story is very fascinating. Actually, I'd never heard about it, and actually when doing... I'm saying actually a lot, but when doing research for this movie, there wasn't a lot of information from news sources or everything like that, and you would think it'd be more of a worldwide story, or, USA-wide story about what happened trying to get the VA, under wraps and trying to get everything under control. Very interesting aspects of the very end. And what I mean by that, I did research before doing this review, and it seemed like there was two different stories of what actually happened, of why the conclusion happened, and it seemed like there's a lot of miscommunication with the FBI, local police, mayor's office, and stuff like that, which I find very fascinating, because it feels like every time the FBI gets involved in these main stories, shit goes down that's not right. Example, Waco. What the FBI doing nowadays, it feels like very political, and they're just like to the point where, the head honchos, and we're gonna do what the fuck we want to do. And it feels like stories in the 1970s of like police departments. Well, it's even today when you look at like the Las Vegas Police Department and then the Las Vegas Metropolitan, they have different boundaries, and they're still fighting within divisions of like who should get the case and who shouldn't. And I feel like this is the same, political issue with these big organizations like CIA, FBI, NSA, DEA, Armed Forces one, the FTA. Which one is called the firearm, tobacco, blah 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 blah. Which one? Feels like they all in their cahoots and they want to be the the big dick swinging organization of the government, and they don't want to help each other out. And I feel like that was the big issue with this movie. Not the movie, the aftermath of what actually happens. But as this movie goes, it's very competently made. It's a little commercial. Nothing really new about this movie. I do wish they had more... I don't know. It didn't pack a punch I was expecting. It's a good story about what is being told, but it didn't hit me as hard as it should for some reason. I don't know why. I can't really put a finger on it, too. It's like, those are good character aspects. It was interesting, finger pointing, but I do think the reason why, if I had to choose a thing, was, now thinking about it, going over it, this is a very sloppy review, and I apologize for that. But the VA aspect, it goes more into, like, what the news department did, what the negotiator did, what happened in the bank, but I feel like the VA was very closed off, and I don't know if the filmmakers couldn't get that right information of what the VA was trying to do in getting the money for this individual, and that was kind of blanked out. And I know at the very end it says the VA still didn't give him the money, and of course, when you're in a situation like that where you risk people's lives, I can see the government be like, no, kind of like suicide with insurance. If you commit suicide and you have the GI Bill, or as well as the GI insurance. If you die in combat, your family gets your 400K or whatever like that you put into it. SGLI, sorry. But if you commit suicide, you kind of wipe away all that money. You don't get it. So I don't know if this is the same realm. I don't know about it. I just know the VA hasn't been a good organization for the past 10, 15, 20 years. It's a systemic issue with the VA. And yeah, it's not going to be fixed anytime soon. So if you want universal health care, just look at the VA and be like, yeah, it ain't going to work as well as you think it's going to work. So 892 is a good movie. It is very commercial. It could be watched for anyone. And that's all I'm going to say about this movie. So 892 will receive a 3.5 out of 5 with Futons. It goes at 70%. So see the correction scores gave this one. All right, the 892 has an 81% with 21 reviews already. No critic consensus. So we have the 81 and the 70. Like I said, it's a commercially well-made movie, and that's that. So 81, 70. Chase the like with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about this Futonitopia. Your Futonians. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. And the last one for tonight is We Met on VR. And I'm terrified of this movie. But yeah, I mean, yeah, is there a yeah, the VA, I mean, the news of the VA has been poo-poo for decades. So, I mean, is it, what do you expect? Like, yeah. Will he get VA benefits? Will he get VA benefits? He probably hates me right now. Do you hate me? Oh.